What's up, guys? Welcome to the episode of Nerd Up. We got Ryan over here in his boxers. What's going on?
Well, it is kind of hot over here in Texas, so
It looks like one of those like Bigfoot photos. Like
I know. He sounds like Kyle Chandler is playing Hal Jordan. Hey, guys.
yeah, a little bit. I'm a Green Lantern.
His voice is a little hoarse. Maybe you should be drinking or sipping on some tea with honey.
Tea.
yeah, that's root beer.
I know. Like, who drinks tea out of a huge cup? It's more like sweet tea. Okay, so we got a lot to talk about. Obviously, our main topic is going to be about how to fix
The Green Lantern series.
I wish. No, it's how to fix the Flash, which we're going to talk about that later in the show. I'm like real, like, I don't know, my connection is kind of weird. It's not very smooth right now, so I apologize for that. At least I have the right mic chosen. Let me see. Maybe my, what?
Hold on.
Ryan's having a tough time right now.
I've got a stream. Hold on. Fix this
Skill
Flash.
issue.
Keep going. You guys keep going. Talk amongst yourselves.
Talks amongst yourselves. Why am I so choppy? I don't get it. Looks
I know
weird.
you look like a frame by frame, like
I know.
stop motion.
It looks like I'm in like the Spider-Verse movie. I'm like, hey, what's going on?
Hey, it's Glitch.
It's Glitch. DJ Wart. Okay, so we're going to talk about how to fix the Flash a little bit later in the show, but for now, we're going to talk about some of our, what's this? We're going to talk about some of our main news topics, and starting off with the biggest news of the day, which is the Flash, the Green Lantern series. This is our first shot of the Green Lantern suit. It looks like leather with some other leather and a little bit more leather.
It's layered.
It's layered. It's got the shoulder pads with layers. Some say it resembles the Earth 1 Green Lantern look. Let me ask you guys, start with Ryan. Ryan, what did you think of the suit? And obviously, look, we can't watch the teaser, otherwise they'll take us down or I'll get hit with something. Well, so we'll talk about it. If you haven't seen it yet, go on X. It's all over the place. What was your take on the trailer and on the suit?
Man, mixed feelings. It's a mixed bag, especially after getting Superman with the other Green Lantern. I don't know, man. What's so funny is that they complain about like, yo, we don't like the muted colors and get away from all the muted colors and let's get saturated. And then you see this and it's completely desaturated. It looks fucking booger green. And it does. It's just like, what are we doing here? You know, what exactly are we doing here? And this is a suit that he hangs up. I'm sorry. The one thing, oh, it's two things, but the one major thing that they got right in the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern is the suit. The suits, it was all like, it all had to do with like their musculature and all that. And it looked like it was made of energy and it looked, and it glowed and all that. This just looks like a cosplayer's thing that he puts in the back of his, closet. It's like, I could have that in my closet. That doesn't look, there's nothing, extra about this. It almost looks fucking brown.
Yeah, it does. It looks like brown leather. And when you compare that to, let's say, okay, so here's the Lantern suit, and then you got, there's the John Stewart suit, what it would have looked like, because they rendered one frame of it to show him. That looks really cool. And then you go over here, you got the Zack Snyder's Justice League, and you got Ryan Reynolds. And I don't know, it's kind of weird when you go back and you look at that thing. And then there's that suit. Yes, it's a practical suit, which, hey, I'm okay with that, but it's not. I got to see more of it, but so far I'm not really impressed.
But even
Matt,
if you look at the Superman one, the one with Guy Gardner,
Superman
that they just released, I'm like,
Superman.
Is this the same damn universe, or what the hell are we doing?
And that's the other thing too, is that like right now, Gunn's universe is so convoluted. Nothing seems like there's any kind of uniformity. There's no synchronicity, or nothing seems like it's in the same universe. And we'll talk about that when we talk about the trailer. But Matt, real quick, your impression on the suit. What'd you think?
hated it because it's like, why does he have an actual suit? Are we tailoring suits to all lanterns? Like that's just weird. Like I like the ring has the suit, and there you go, you're in the suit. It's just,
Yeah.
like no difference than the squirrel, Kilowog,
Right. They
everybody.
even mentioned the squirrel. They were
It just
like,
makes
"Yo,
no sense.
so the squirrel has a tailored suit."
And that's the thing too, is that it looks like the suit or the ring doesn't make the suit. You have a physical suit which can get ripped and damaged in battles. So I don't really understand why the suit is separate. For a minute I thought, well, maybe this is a shot from the dressing room. No, it's in the fucking trailer. You see him move it over and you're just like, oh, so it's a physical suit. It's not a it's not a suit that's created by the ring. I don't understand this.
Yeah.
I really don't. When we talk about like the trailer, okay, so the trailer for Lanterns. Okay, first it was the teaser for the trailer, which is supposed to hit tomorrow, and then it leaked. So it was like, okay, good job, everybody. But the teaser looked fucking terrible. It looked fucking CW. I was like, who made this? I could have made that teaser on my phone. That's why I was like, wow, this looks really bad.
That's some better shit from Sea Dance.
Sea Dance, thank you. AI Takeover. And then when you got to see the full trailer, okay, I don't know I don't know where we're going with this DC universe. I'm gonna watch the show, obviously.
Good, neither do they.
And then right away he's like, I haven't I've been training for X amount of weeks. I haven't even had the ring on yet. And he's like, don't worry, you're just a fucking substitute. Like, he's dropping an F-bomb right away. So I'm like, okay, that's cool, but who is your target market? Because you didn't really swear all that much. You didn't drop F-bombs in Superman, but yet you're doing it on here. You're doing it on every show that's on HBO Max. You're swearing up and down the road. But it's kind of like, who is your target audience? I don't know. I don't get it. Like, not to be a dead horse, but, Zach's DC had swearing, but to me, it was never used just like, I don't know.
I don't know. When it was Batman, he was swearing, and that was a little forced.
Like the oh shit in BVS, I didn't like it. When he crashes and Doomsday lands, oh shit. I was kind of like, okay, come on.
One funny thing I'm thinking of is like Zack Snyder filmed it in the garage with a box of scraps. Like, that's what I'm thinking of.
Oh yeah, he filmed it on his driveway.
Oh,
it looks better.
About Iron Man, Iron
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like that.
Tony Stark made a whole movie from his garage in San Dimas, California.
San Dimas, California.
That's all I can think of.
And here's the other thing too, is that when when James Gunn said, we're gonna make a show called Lanterns, and it's gonna be inspired by True Detective, and then you watch the trailer, I'm like, okay, I get what you mean by that, but you're a little too on the nose, because now it looks like I'm watching True Detective when I should be watching a Green Lantern series.
Watching Galactic Officers, not fucking local.
Well, I want to say that this particular Lantern show is the one that they have been trying to produce since the Snyderverse was a thing. Back when they were first introducing HBO Max, they were like, this was the first show that they were going to sort of showcase.
Oh yeah, remember that? That was Greg Berlanti, I think, was attached to that at one point.
And you know what, Greg Berlanti, at least he would have come up with something better than this shit. Even though like the CW is the CW, it is what it is, but I don't think it would have been this.
Yeah, it's just, it seems like an adult. It just seems like adult content, which, hey, that's fine, but then all of your content needs to be mature to a certain degree. You know what I mean? Like when you watch Zack's Man of Steel, BVS, Justice League, those were for, it was for a more mature audience, right? Mm-hmm. Not because they were, saying dick and cunt and, fuck you. And he does say, I will fucking kill you. But like, it wasn't because of the crude language. It was because it had some violence. It was a little more serious.
Mm-hmm. The tone was different.
Right. And so far with James Gunn's DCU, I don't know what the tone is.
The tone is as his life. It's a rainbow. And
I don't get it.
It's an array of everything. It's fucking anything they want, and they'll just, it doesn't matter. He's just like, whatever. And that's why he went from Superman to Man of Tomorrow, because he's just trying to get crap out there. And that was an easy thing for them, especially with this whole merger. And everybody's like, oh, James Gunn is out. Bro, he's 4 years into his 8-year contract. He's still going to be there for the other 4 years.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
So when we talk about the trailer, I mean, Ryan, what'd you think about the trailer?
Meh. I mean,
Yeah.
like, I didn't care. It didn't intrigue me. It didn't excite me. It did nothing to sort of move the needle. I like Green Lantern. I'm a huge Green Lantern fan.
He is. He's not lying. He really is.
No, guys, I am a huge Green Lantern fan.
With all the Superman and Batman.
Yeah, I mean, where's Kyle Rayner? No, but it's like, they really missed the mark on this so far, at least with the advertising. I think it's just going to be one of those whodunit kind of things, and it's just going to take place on Earth, and it's going to be like, well, who cares at the end of the day? I mean, it's not going to turn too many heads. It's not going to get that much exposure, and I don't think it's going to set up much for the overall universe going.
It's supposed to, though. That's the thing. It's supposed to set up the major storyline. He said that.
But
He said
it looks like it's before Guy Gardner because he says there's no other Human Lanterns. So it's like what are we building up here? Plus, it looks super low budget. I mean, you haven't seen. It's a show called Lanterns, but it's just local cops, no galactic cops, nothing. We're just here.
like you think some kind of big wig around here? It's like okay,
yeah, like what the like I want to see aliens, not humans. I don't like that's what I wanted to sign up for with Lanterns or Manhunters or something.
All right. What else, Ryan? What else? I mean,
Yeah.
like, go ahead.
No. Let me have a look at it real quick since we're not showing.
It's all
it.
taken down
You haven't
now.
watched it?
I've seen it. It's not taken
Okay.
down. I'm looking at it right here.
Oh, good. Okay, so while you're looking at it, Matt, what'd you think about the trailer?
Dude, it really looks like DC's got no money, and that's why they're like putting everything into Man of Tomorrow, and hopefully they're like praying that they'll make a huge win, which I don't think they will. It looks like there's nothing Lanterns about this. They showed a ring and a suit.
The ring looks like cosplay jewelry.
Him flying even looks stupid. I know Guy Gardner didn't have.
You know what? Him flying didn't really bother me.
Well,
that shot.
one thing that's starting to bother me is that there's no glow. You could just fly. You don't need the suit. You don't need nothing. There's nothing to show that it's a Green Lantern flying. It's just a guy flying.
It's just the guy flying.
Like it just
Right.
looks weird. It doesn't look right.
The suit should protect him and create the ability to fly. It shouldn't just be his. I like the flying shot, but yeah, you're right.
It just
Like
looks
you
a
see
guy
him flying. His ring isn't glowing. There's just nothing going on.
He's just flying. He's just now. Look,
They
could
fly
they be
now.
hiding something? Could there be special effects that they're not showing in this? I don't know why they would do that.
I don't think that.
Like,
they would
let's
do
make
that.
it look more bland, and then when it comes out, they'll be like,
I'm telling you,
"Whoa!"
dude, that's why there's a suit made. They're like, fuck a CGI suit. We have to make a physical suit that's so cheaper, like so much cheaper than just like putting CGI or whatever on it. Like this just looks like they had no budget. They're just filming two guys in normal clothes, normal things. It's just like it looks like there's no money in this production.
Well, and like I said, he said, "Oh, this is going to be inspired by True Detective." This is too on the nose, dude.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, look, that's cool, but when I hear that it's lanterns, I expect them to go in space, and so it had to be something related to like the overall big picture space. I don't know. Obviously, look, we haven't heard the whole story yet. We don't know what the plot is yet. We just know that there's some kind of mystery going on, and nobody in the small little town trusts them. So again, the fact that it's in a small town, it almost gives you the opportunity to say, hey, look, this could be just an isolated story that doesn't really affect the rest of the world because it's in a small town. It's kind of like, well, no.
Yeah,
like,
but you said that there's some sort of catalyst for like the big.
That's what he said.
And I mean, it looks like they're just hanging out in Freetown.
This here's Freetown.
I can't think of who the villain would be. Like maybe there's hidden manhunters.
The
but
villain is the studio.
I can't think of any Lantern villains that are here.
Atrocitus is in the background.
It's just, I don't know, dude. I just don't get it. I really don't. It's
I like
just
the guy
kinda
that's playing Jon Stewart. His voice is cool.
I like him. I like him.
He's a good
I even like
actor.
the guy that plays Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
He was just in a movie with Ben Affleck and what's his face? Born Identity. They did, what was it
Matt
called?
Damon. I mean, come on, dude.
The Born Identity guy.
Jeremy Renner. Yeah.
Ooh, no. He was in Born Identity.
Okay. Well, anyway, so there's that. Yeah, I don't know. Like this seems like a very adult series. So like, obviously, my kids wouldn't watch this because it seems like it'd be for mature audiences, which
And
I'm
that's where
okay
all the-
with. But
I mean, but that's where all the money is all the kids, right? It's just like, why?
but this doesn't look like a kid's show.
It should have been like every kid would love Lanterns. Are you kidding me? Galactus.
I know.
Kids
well,
are
then-
not into superheroes, guys.
Yeah.
You have to kind of ride that fine line of, if you want to go full kids or you want to go partial kids, or you
Never
want to
go
go no
full
kids?
retard.
Well, then you're gonna go like, okay, once you merge the characters together and form the Justice League, okay, what is he gonna be cursing? Like, or is he gonna like have a complete switch?
I mean, he already swore.
up.
He was like, "You're just a fucking substitute." And later on, he's like, "Have you talked to their lanterns? They're aliens. One of them's a fucking squirrel." It's kind of like, wait,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Right.
You,
Isn't
what do
the
you
ring
mean?
supposed to be the translator for you?
Yeah, I thought that you go back to Oa and you talk to the other lanterns and
Well,
you
I don't
interact
know,
with
'cause
them.
again. The middle finger lantern powers, that's a thing. So maybe all lanterns are assholes.
Well, they showed the lantern, like the what do you call it? What's it called? The lantern that they use to
The
recharge.
ring?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
the
looked like
lantern. They showed
that
the
looked
lantern.
like
I didn't
shit.
see that.
Yeah, it looked like shit.
It's a pretty good focus shot on it,
I know. This
I
guy's like,
missed-
"Where's
I
all the
missed
lasers,
it.
explosions?"
Yeah. So I was just too focused on the main villain.
I was too focused on the
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers,
No, I was looking at the Warner Brothers, now owned by Paramount.
Yeah.
not by Paramount. Anyway, so that's Lanterns, you guys. So far, I mean, I'm definitely gonna watch it. It's a true detective ripoff, and they're trying to make it like a real serious crime drama, which is kind of like okay, cool.
Dude,
To me, it's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag.
Stargirl looked better than Lantern.
Yeah,
Not
it-
gonna lie.
It's a mixed bag because so far there is no continuity in terms of theme for any of James Gunn's DCU projects. They're all, I would say Superman and Supergirl so far look like they have similar continuity in terms of like their aesthetic and the way it's shot and the tone, but this is totally different. Totally different.
So it's a different kind of hot garbage.
It's a different kind of hot garbage, and it's kind of like what you said. So far Superman it's superhero fast food. Get it out there, nice and bright, bunch of shit throwing at you.
There's nothing intelligible about it.
No,
Absolutely nothing. There's no edification there. You don't take anything away. You're just it's just eye candy and then over.
yeah, it really is.
Okay, on to our rapid fire news segment.
Here we go. Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. Badass.
Welcome back.
oh my
shit.
god. Oh my god.
It's the Empire.
Oh my god.
That looks like that the girl gremlin.
So
Just so
Empire
weird.
posted this tomorrow, 4 p.m. and it's a picture of a shadow of none other than Yoda. Good God, what could they possibly be doing now? This
know
almost
that's
made
not
me
Yoda.
sick. It's Yoda.
Shut
That's Yoda. Who you
with
think
the
it's
scarf?
what?
With the scarf?
A scarf. It's probably
fucking
Grogu.
Grogu,
It's
yes.
Grogu.
Fucking
But even
Grogu.
this, I was like, God, here we go again. We're gonna have more dumb shit, more of the fucking tauntauns in place of Clydesdales.
They're not listening. They're like, no, we know what we're doing. Stay the course, guys.
Instead of pushing more of the Mandalorian, they're pushing more Grogu. Like push more Grogu down their throat. That's what they want to see.
I got another plushy line.
So tomorrow at 4:00, more fucking Grogu. Whatever. Let's move on.
Rapid fire was one news.
Yeah, that was it. Thanks, guys.
No, we keep going until it's over.
Okay.
Here we go. A crew member of Ahsoka on season 2 hints that Ewan McGregor will appear as Obi-Wan in the show.
What?
Oh, and when Ewan let me hold Ahsoka's lightsaber, that was definitely a favorite Star Wars moment. Okay, whatever. What do you guys think about Obi-Wan appearing in Ahsoka? He'd be a Force ghost, obviously.
Gotta get another special edition for episode 6.
They had to shove him in there. They're like, let's get him in. Now, hopefully Dave Filoni isn't going to fuck this up, and Dave Filoni's like, hey, look, we're going to do this the right way and respectfully, but Ryan, I mean, can we expect that?
Well, he's gonna tell Ahsoka, these are your first steps.
These are your first steps. I thought I could
just-
train
they-
him
they-
like my
they
master
need-
trained me. I
They
was
need
wrong.
all of the fucking goodwill that they can get, and as long as they can keep, as long as they can keep getting Ewan to come back and also Hayden, then that's gonna bring in some people. That's gonna give, yo, what's up?
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, no, it's gonna give him some, not credence, but just I guess a little bit of empathy, like to come back and watch this shit, because all it is it's just Star Wars is a dumpster fire, much like DC.
I mean, Ahsoka is probably the only thing. Hear me out. The Ahsoka series season 2 is probably the only thing I'm actually looking forward to. Mandalorian and Grogu, I'm not looking forward to it. I'm going to see it, but I'm not really excited for it.
Are you gonna wait? Let me ask you this: Are you gonna go to the theater to see this shit?
Probably not.
I will not.
No, I don't think I will. Actually, I probably can because I bet you the kids can watch it. It's going to be hell stupid and goofy, like, oh, look at Grogu, he's flying an X-wing. You know, I don't know.
Bright light.
Real quick, Matt, what do you think about Obi-Wan in Ahsoka season 2?
Man, they like I know because like okay, so for Hayden, they didn't care how he looked. I'm assuming they're not going to care how Obi-Wan looks, and to me, that just
They're gonna give him a haircut.
Yeah, they're gonna dye his hair. Make
No,
him white,
he's going to be a Force ghost. This
Yeah.
is already past. Return of the Jedi and everything.
Like Lucas fixed the continuity with Anakin and shit, and it's just like with this one, it's like it's just gonna look weird to me because he doesn't look like Alec Guinness. It's just
he's gonna be a young. Oh yeah, he's gonna have like the old man look.
Yeah, he has to look old as shit.
He can't look like this.
No,
like in this image. So we'll see how they.
I don't mind if they mix it like to make.
They'll give him the Alec Guinness wig. And that's pretty much
wig.
It's gonna look so
hair.
I know it's gonna look retarded. But
he's gonna have gray hair, short with a beard.
if it looks close, sure. I mean, I don't know. Hell, we
All
got
right.
old Hayden playing young Anakin. So
I swear to God, they tried to fucking make him look younger too.
I mean,
I don't
every
think they tried. They're just
subsequent
like-
sequel or season of Andor, he gets older than when he died.
Actually, when I watched Andor, then I watched Rogue One, I didn't see much of a difference. So.
Well, yeah, but you got to.
You're just saying that. You didn't even watch it, so you're just saying that. You're just talking out of your ass.
I started it.
You started it. You did start it. So let's give him credit for that. He did start it. Okay, let's move on to our next topic. Is this a good thing? I don't know. Dave Filoni gave a mandate for Maul, Shadowlord, confirmed Stan Witwer. Dave Filoni gave us a mandate to do everything better. Acting, scripts, stories, cinematography, sound. He told us to push everything further. Is this a good sign? We'll start with Matt, since Ryan's chewing.
I've got no problem with Dave wanting to go further on Clone Wars. Anything Clone Wars. Like, I love Clone Wars. I think it's a hit show. Even the final season was great.
It's a good
Tales
show.
of the Jedi,
I like
Tales of the Sith. I still need to watch Tales of the Underworld, but everything looks really good. I have no problem with this show. I think it's going to be really great.
That's one of Ryan's favorite shows is Tales of the Underworld. Go ahead, Ryan.
I'm sorry, what are we talking about? So it's funny enough, this is the exact same mandate that James Gunn gave to the DC crew. He said, do better, make things better. The fuck does that even mean? Why would you say anything other than that in any production? Yes, of course, same thing for the damn people that are making, your favorite series, Star Trek. Yeah, make it better. Always, what? Dude,
Yeah.
That tells me absolutely fucking nothing.
Honestly,
And
I'm not even worried about
nothing.
the team. I think the team's going to be all right.
At least he's trying to improve things. And if anybody can
What?
make things better
That's
for
just
Star
a
Wars, so
fucking
I would think
blanket
Filoni could. Filoni can make things better, hopefully. He's
He
talented enough.
Fucking co-signed to the Keaton Moody shit. Yeah, he's making it better.
Yeah, they probably had a blaster to his head, like, just sign right here.
Another fat guy to be fucking pilots. Like, bro, I'm sorry you wouldn't have passed basic training.
And
I'm
Andor,
sorry.
the fat black girl, the big booty, or
No.
how about the fat Jedi in the Acolyte?
There's a lot of fat people that can do a lot of things in this universe. I'm sorry, but if you're going to be an Imperial officer, you got to fucking at least have some sort of physique to where you can do this shit. They don't just let people go to shit.
They do. In the
I'm
Empire,
sorry.
they've gone to shit.
They've gone to shit. They've gone to plaid.
They've gone to plaid. That's a great movie. Well, you think that's good? Look at this. So Leslie Hedman was recently on a podcast, just a rando podcast, where they, were like, "Oh, I'm so happy to be talking to you." Ah. And when they were on there, they asked her a bunch of questions. She made a lot of dumb statements. So here's one of them. The Acolyte creator Leslie Hedlund says that she would yell, "Modesto!" George Lucas's birthplace on the set to remind everyone to retain the core of George Lucas's Star Wars. I would yell it to everyone. Ready? Let's go. And I just started yelling Modesto.
They probably thought she had Tourette's.
She made it into a fucking joke. Modesto! Like, okay, yeah, whatever. I'll let Leslie.
I guess her crew didn't get the memo. Because everything she fucking put out was shit.
Shit. Absolute shit.
Absolute dog shit.
And people are like, oh, we had Plagueis, we had Yoda. I wish you could have got season 2. If you really paid attention to the writing of the show, it's so horrible. It breaks all kinds of lore. For me, it breaks canon. And the fact that like you even tried to take on Darth Plagueis and Yoda is absolutely ridiculous.
Well, not only that, not only the canon breaking and the lore, issues or whatever, but the bigger issue that I have is that it's an incoherent story that fucking doesn't even make sense in its own fucking storytelling atmosphere. The whole switcheroo with the twins, Osha and fucking
it's horrible.
Whatever the fuck the other Maya, whatever
May. Osha and May.
And but I mean it stumbled upon itself because it just couldn't make any sense of itself. It was so like queer mirror. Like, dude, you could tell who the hell he was, and it was just bad. Bring back Kathleen Kennedy.
I know. When they switched, it's like when she wrote that, she was like, yeah, then they're gonna switch places by changing clothes, and because they're
her
twins.
Favorite fucking movie was The Parent Trap.
I know, but I'm saying she's like, then they're gonna switch clothes and they won't know the difference. But they're Jedis. Won't they be able to realize that? I don't know. Shut up. We'll just pretend they don't know. Like, oh, okay, cool.
No, the other one has a different hairstyle.
Yeah, she cut her hair with a lightsaber, and they thought that shot was so badass too. When
they did.
Like, oh yeah, we did it.
Fierce,
so fierce,
so fierce.
So again, yelling Modesto. That's not how you capture and save George Lucas's vision by yelling Modesto. Instead, that's how you make a joke of it.
Do better, make better.
That's how you make a joke of it. That's how you make a joke of it. That's how you make light of it. And I'm sorry. That's why she should not be in charge of a show. And I'm glad her season 2 got canceled because she sucks.
She needs to go back to Epstein.
No, it's not Epstein. It was
Epstein. It was the other guy.
Harvey Weinstein.
Weinstein, Epstein, Steen, Frankenstein. Hey, same. And I can say
got some more Leslie Headland news. The Acolyte creator Leslie Headland says Ki-Adi-Mundi appearing in the show doesn't break canon. I asked Pablo Hidalgo, and I don't remember what he said about the birth date or lifespan, but Pablo said it was cool. Many people read the script. Like, you're a fucking idiot. Like, how did you know?
They didn't see the timeline when it started.
Yeah, it's like cool. I asked Pablo, he said it's fine. So it's not my problem anymore. It's like, no, dude, you're the creator. You should know this shit. And this is what happens when you put people that don't know the Star Wars lore in charge, or you don't have somebody overseeing these projects and scripts that knows the lore. At least with Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige is, he knows a shit ton about comics. He reads comics, he knows the lore about comics, and he has a outline for what he wants his universe to be. This last saga, the multiverse saga, got a little fucked up because I think more Disney heads got involved. But it goes to show you when you look at how dumb this woman is and how dumb this project was and how dumb Kathleen Kennedy is, and you look at what James Gunn is doing, when you don't have someone who's competent in running a universe, you get a lot of fuck-ups. Here's another one. I asked Pablo Hidalgo, I don't remember what he said about the birthday or lifespan, but he said it was cool. You don't remember what he said? Like, what the fuck?
Well, it was inconsequential. It was full steam ahead. Go forward, green light.
She threw him under the bus. She was like, well, he said it was fine, so take it up with him.
Who cares? Is that going to make her unhireable? Apparently not, because Harvey fucking got her this job.
Harvey's in jail right now, so
they can make phone calls. She puts that fucking shit in the fucking in the pastries for him. Little cigarettes, just for exchange.
They put a file in his cake. Matt, what do you think about this statement?
Yeah, she clearly doesn't give a shit, or she's just looking to blame other people. It's like, who cares? You suck. Next, get out of here. You're not a Star Wars fan.
She's trash, dude.
I don't care how many
trash.
books you read. Just like James Gunn, he read all these comic books. It was all shit.
She wears eyeglasses, but she cannot see.
She cannot see the Star Wars
cannot
vision.
see. Ryan, real quick. Yeah. This comment. What do you think, man? The first reaction to this comment. What does it tell you about Leslie Headland?
Oh man, amateur.
Just let it rip.
Yeah, no, it's horrible. She's bad.
It's bad.
Yeah,
Very bad. And it only gets worse because here we go. The Acolyte creator Leslie Headland wants to ask George Lucas about Palpatine's Darth Plagueis speech. In Revenge of the Sith, during the sperm opera, when Palpatine says that Plagueis could create life, is he lying or is he telling the truth? I cannot believe this woman was put in charge of a Star Wars series that takes place before all the other series. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? She's a fucking moron. Matt, what do you think about this statement?
I do not concur. I mean, I do concur.
What?
What?
I object.
No, like I mean, even like seeing like where the sequels went, it's like, okay, clearly he learned about life force and shit. Like he knows how to cheat death.
They healed
so
the
it was a
worm.
real thing.
Yeah, they healed the worm.
Yeah, well, okay,
snake.
I don't give a shit about that. I'm talking about Sidious living after the fucking Death Star. Like it clearly he knows what he's doing with that shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I just she's an idiot. She's just talking too much. They need to stop interviewing her.
Seriously, she needs to shut the fuck up. And I know I sound like another YouTuber that got busted for that, but she needs to shut the fuck up and go away. She's fucking terrible. Now, if she comes out with something else in the future that's really good, I'll give her credit for that. But right now, this is hot garbage. I mean, to ask the question, was he telling the truth about that or was he lying? Why would he be lying? Up until the point where Disney bought Star Wars, Darth Plagueis is the one who created Anakin Skywalker. Ryan, what do you think about this statement? Make some sense of it or not. I don't care.
No, makes sense.
I think you guys are just looking at it from a different point of view.
Well, what's your point of view?
Well, I mean, here she is. She's an outsider coming in. She says, hey, you know what? I've got this great idea that'll connect the sequel trilogy that everyone hates to the prequel trilogy that everyone kind of likes. And also the prequel lore. So I'm going to make Quimir a Knight of Ren. But not only that, I'm going to make these two girls here, Osha and Mayo. I'm going to make them like Anakin Skywalker so that he's not unique.
What about Plagueis? Come on, dude. You're dancing around the topic.
She shouldn't have ever fucking brought Plagueis in. He, as far as we know from the conversation that Anakin and the then Supreme Chancellor had, he was the one. There you go. He was the one that was able to create life. And yes, so he would have created or had a way of creating Anakin Skywalker. Now, how he did that, we don't know.
Yes.
But I would not conflate that with bringing in these other two girls and saying that they did the exact same thing with this witch cult and saying, that they figured it out and Plagueis was just in the fucking cave and he used it as a cheat code and said, hey, I saw what y'all did. I'm going to do one better. And I'm going to make mine a dude.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but in a world of like all this nonsense about like, girl power and all this other bullshit, they basically said their version, which was two girls, was inferior to Plagueis' version, which was one male. So, I mean, I'm sorry, Leslie Headland and crew, they're just a bunch of dumb fucks.
Yeah.
They're dumb as shit, and they don't even fucking know it. They don't know it. That's just
like
that's
she's
just
still
like
oblivious to it. She thinks she made something really, really good
because they don't understand it. They're not thinking fourth dimensionally. They're stuck in their own world. They're stuck in their own bullshit. They're stuck in their own paradigm, in that they don't understand the bullshit that's coming out of their mouths as it's leaving their mouths, and then after it leaves their mouths, they don't even think about it past that point.
Yeah.
They have no idea what they just said.
I mean, not only that, not only is she an idiot, but it's like, who else is at the round table, or is it just like full creative control?
Pablo Hidalgo.
No, she had to ask him. Remember? Hey, Pablo, I had a question.
He was probably in the fucking urinal. Like,
I mean, fuck Pablo. I'm talking about like with this whole thing. Like, is he lying? Is he telling the truth? With Plagueis, it's like, where are the real fans that know the stuff? Like where are these people? It's it just blows my mind on how like bullshit like this just flies. Like I just don't get it.
Well, they're gonna fucking try it. They're gonna be like,
I mean,
Does
the one
bullshit
thing I
fly?
loved most with Clone Wars was that Dave Filoni almost had Shmi like meet Padme for the first time, but Sam Witwer was like, they already met before. So it's like, how did like some people like a lot of these people have that disconnect or even forgot. So it's like we need people like that like remind them, like,
Yeah.
hey, this shit happened or whatever, because that's where continuity issues come from. They don't look back on the old work. They just
Well, look at this bullshit. This is another one. Chris Teague, who's a cinematographer of The Acolyte, says showrunner Leslie Headland approached the series with one guiding principle. What would George do? Fucking bullshit. Because everything she did was what George wouldn't do.
Yeah.
So, bad choice.
yeah. If it was really what would George do, they would have had him come in and asked him for his advice, like, and all that shit. But they didn't do any of that. They
No,
did
no,
not
no,
do
no.
any of that.
Leave the poor guy alone, dude. They've already.
Well, no, even if she
Wars.
said,
No,
I
I'm
want to
sure-
bring George in for a consult, they, no, don't do that. He's busy. He's out of the country. He's,
Filoni did that shit back when he was doing the other like the shows and everything. He would ask him like, "Hey, is this cool? Is this in lore? Is this that?" and whatever. And George would tell him. I'm sure George would love to like stay with his like. I mean, he created this. This is his baby. Like I would ask.
I mean,
him.
what? Another thing you can do is you can bring back Mark Hamill into an office and tell him, "Yo, you can say whatever you want. It's fucking safe space. We're not gonna fucking tell you that. Hey, you can't go fucking off the wall and start talking bullshit about our property. But what would George have done? You understand this shit almost as good as he did because he explained this shit to you back in the day. You understand that fucking Luke Skywalker that we made was not going to be something that was palatable to the fans. What would you say about this? You understand this shit a hell of a lot more than apparently Pablo Hidalgo and fucking Filoni together.
Yeah.
And he'd be more than happy to fucking tell him. He just is like, I'm not going to act or anything anymore. Let's just like give the Joker up. He's not going to do more Luke Skywalker shit. But I mean, he definitely could lend them a little bit of, pointers or whatever, just to sort of like at least come up with something that was closer to or akin to what he was told back in the day. Because there was an interview where Mark was, sat down. He said, hey, George talked to me about fucking, 7, 8, and 9 on the set of Return of the Jedi. So he already had an idea that he'd come back as an Obi-Wan, type character. So he had some idea of like how this shit fucking worked.
Yeah.
I mean, they'd spend all kinds of time together. And Mark's been with a whole shit ton of fans going to conventions and shit. So yeah, he'd be a perfect person to go and get some advice from. Don't bother George with this shit anymore, man. George is like, fuck y'all, man. You destroyed my property.
They absolutely destroyed it. I mean, and this show did a huge part in doing that. This show completely took a shit all over it. Really, really badly too. Nasty one. Porn.
So HBO Max says, you manifested it early. The official Lanterns teaser is here, coming this August. So
What?
So yeah, you could show it. I knew they were gonna do that shit. I didn't think they were gonna take your
didn't
shit down.
take it all down.
Yeah, they weren't
They
gonna
didn't take it all down.
They
just-
owned up to it. They're like, fuck
Well,
it, here's
the
it.
one I posted, it was like, it has been taken down due to copyright. I was like, okay.
Here, I'll send it to you.
I don't care. I'm not
No,
gonna
no,
watch it
no.
again.
You have it now.
you
Look
have
it
Okay,
up.
so
You have it.
here comes the biggest of all the headlines when it comes to Leslie Headland. Let's take a look at this one. All right, here we go. Yoda helps Finestra cover up Quemir's murders after the finale of The Acolyte, confirms Leslie Headland. For sure, yeah. And don't come at me in the comments because he does it in the Clone Wars, so I don't want to hear about it.
Wow, that's very passive aggressive or aggressive.
Or she probably said, and I don't want to hear about it. And they were like, oh, yeah.
Oh, this is a longer trailer.
All right, so stop watching that. So, all right, he's busy right now. Okay, so what'd you think about this? About her saying this stupidness?
That's complete. That's cowardice right there.
Yeah.
Just say, and he did it in this other property, so please don't come attack me anymore. Fuck off.
Now,
It sounds like Ryan Johnson.
Matt, can you shed some light on what she's talking about when it comes to the Clone Wars, and that he did it before in the Clone Wars? Do you know what she's talking about?
I have no fucking clue what she's talking about.
I don't
I
either.
really don't.
But to say, he would cover up Quemir's murders and the fact that the Sith has returned. No, he'd be like, what? The Sith is back. Fucking get everyone together. We got to go.
Yeah,
we got to shut this
Keanu
down.
Mundi on this. He's alive.
Get Keaton Mundi. He's going to lie for us too. Don't worry about it. He won't tell anybody.
But somehow he's also alive.
It's just, oh god, it's just so dumb.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Oh, it is the lantern. And
Ryan, can you stop watching the fucking trailer and pay attention to what we're talking about, dude?
You're making me pissed. I swear to
there's
God.
horrible.
All right, get the fuck out of here. All right, so that's that. I mean, it's so dumb. I can't believe that she would even make comments like that. But guess what? There is more. So let's go to that right now. Oh, wait, it didn't work. Okay, so it says here, of course, Queen Mirror was not a true Sith, confirms dumbass. Like, oh, come on.
Confirms dumbass.
Well, I mean, he didn't get his official, Sith lightsaber.
He didn't get the Sith eyes.
Who gives a
Well,
shit?
that's
They didn't know if
thing
Maul
that
was a
makes
Sith,
sense.
and they said that they encountered, like they encountered.
You know what? At the end of the day, does anyone really care about what she says anymore? It's just so stupid.
No, it's just.
I mean, I'm sorry, but
nasty.
like this is a horrible Twitter account, Star Wars Holocron. They're like, "How we feeling about the sequel trilogy? You like it now?" It's like, who gives a shit, dude? You're just a baiter. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, this is a lot of
So,
rage bait.
It's just baiting. But yeah, nobody gives a shit about this thing anymore. And like we were saying the other day on the phone, is that the Acolyte is the very first series that they've actually had to come out and announce that they're not going to go forward. Usually, with series when they don't get another sequential series, subsequential series beyond, it just trails off. Like you don't hear from anyone. Like where the fuck? Who's talking about Book of Boba Fett? Who's talking about fucking any of the other things? Like, I mean, hell, they haven't even announced Andor. The only time they announce another season or not is when they're having another one.
Yeah. Or sometimes they'll be like, we're announcing it's been renewed for season 2, and that's it. But this one, they actually came out and said this will not be renewed.
Hopefully, this gets the fucking Willow treatment, because I would prefer that.
They cut a new. You're right though. They did cut a new trailer for Lanterns. They're probably like, "Fuck, cut a new one quick! Put some music behind it."
Yep. The effects, fuck.
Yep.
Did they add effects?
There's still there's hardly any effects. There's minimal effects that I've seen in this trailer.
I'm telling you, low budget. Very low.
Gun's probably like, "Cut a new one now." Well, should we just take the other one down? No,
and also release a Supergirl trailer somehow.
somehow
Tomorrow.
do it now. Have him fly.
There it is. Have him fly.
There it is, Matt. He's flying. They fly now? Oh, I told you he'd wake up.
Well,
He's like,
you don't want to put him on the screen. Get him off of here.
I know all the bad people are watching right
Yeah,
now.
we don't want babies
right
on the
there.
screen,
You
bro.
stay right there.
Look at there's Hal Jordan flying, no suit needed. Just
He's staring at.
No,
Just
no,
straight
no
flight.
suit. I don't even think he probably forgot the ring.
He's
I
got
think
the ring on. You can
Sharing
see
the
it.
ring. I think he's sharing the ring with John.
You gotta have the ring. You
because
can't
there's
just
no
fly
other
without the
human.
ring.
There's no other human that has the ring. Where the fuck is Guy Gardner in this?
He's not chosen yet.
Yet?
This is that's at the same time.
No. Yeah. All three of them should be Green Lanterns at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, well, also there should be Kyle Rayner. Everybody should already.
Kyle
be there.
Rayner's not yet. Kyle
He should-
Rayner's after John.
He should be.
He should be after John, and he
He
is.
should be after. John.
No. They should already be lanterns, man.
Well,
What
he's
the hell is
already
the
a
name of
lantern
this?
anyway, so
That's
Guy
the
Gardner
name of
should
the
still be in the
show.
universe.
That's the name of the show, and
It's
yet
called
we're local
Lanterns.
cops.
Oh, here's a question: do you think that in Lanterns are they going to go to Oa? Probably not.
No.
That'd probably
You
be like
will have-
season
you'll
finale.
probably
Like,
have
all right,
like a
congrats,
scene-
kid. You solved this local mystery. Now you're ready for galactic mystery.
He's gonna land. He's gonna land on Oa. It's gonna show. It's gonna show a camera from behind of Sinestro. Like dun, that's what it's gonna end. Just like the acolyte.
It won't be Sinestro. It'll be one of the elders, the Owens.
Yeah,
It'll be one of the blue
with their
people.
big heads.
Yeah. The back of it, like, oh, and then Sinestro's gonna be in a cave.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then like
He's like, I have my yellow lantern ring now, bitches.
and then like we took this from Star Wars.
I know.
No,
but
can't lose.
it'll be James Gunn. So when he does it, he'll be like, shit, fuck, piss. Like, yeah. And it'll be holding the finger, oh god. Okay, so we do have a couple of videos I wanted to watch. I think they're pretty interesting, pretty cool. And yes, they are AI videos. So get ready because here come more of the AI videos. So I really want you guys to see this. Oh no,
They took it down.
no, my
Your wife's home.
no. I can't scroll on my.
It's really getting worse.
Your computer shut down.
No, I can't. I can't get to the drop. That's the problem.
Oh,
I can't scroll up and down that side screen. I don't know why. Well, that fucking fucked it all up.
You couldn't stay asleep 30 more minutes, huh?
Here, let me leave and come back in. Hold on.
all right.
In other news.
Yeah. So I guess we can talk about this Lantern trailer.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean everything I see on here, there's like this lady sheriff that looks ridiculous in her hat.
Yeah.
Even have a costume lady come in and make her look decent.
Okay, I'm back.
I'm telling you, like this is the part of the training. He has to be a local cop, and then once he solves whatever mystery, all right, kid, you're ready.
They're just running, or they're riding around a fucking car for most of the damn trailer.
I know.
It's under budget. They don't have the money.
Okay, so now it's fixed. So now we can.
We're back.
We're back.
Oh,
Okay,
hey.
so let's watch some AI videos in this next segment called AI Takeover. AI Takeover. Yeah, because everyone's always like, oh, it's AI! Ah! It's like, who cares, dude? Here we go. Here's some AI of Black Adam versus Shazam, which we should have gotten.
We never got.
We should have got this at least in the second Shazam movie. Probably in the first, but at least in the second, and we never did because of this egomaniac. But let's take a look.
Well, hello, Shazam.
Shazam!
And he said Shazam too.
Who are you? I'm Black Adam.
Bitch. That's what he should have said.
Everything sounds better when you put bitch.
I bet you that's what he would have said in the movie, too. Oh, yeah, now he's behind him.
You're not a god. You're a mistake.
I like that.
Yeah, let's go.
You made it bad, black bitch.
Well, hello, Shazam.
And so, like, for me at least, like, it would have been cool if that movie would have been Shazam and Superman, meaning like, Cavill Superman against Black Adam. That would have been a cool movie where essentially it's supposed to be Superman and Black Adam, but then because of his magic, he weakens him, and then Shazam has to help out.
Yeah,
that would have been a cool movie.
There's somebody out there making full-length movies right now.
You think
just don't
so?
know about it yet. 100%.
Man, you know what?
Someone's
Yeah,
finishing
I
up
would
Nightmare,
say-
Justice League, and all that crap right now. Come on. Someone's working on it. I just know it.
So I have another one here I want to show you guys, but unfortunately, it's only in portrait mode. So it's in like 9:16, but it's a 16:9 video. So it's like, it's like
just-
super cropped.
Let's just turn sideways.
Yeah. All right, here is that video. Let me go ahead and share this one, and let's take a look. I thought it was cool. I thought it was really cool.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
You shouldn't be here.
Man, what could have been in Flash?
It's soulless. This is where it starts to get a little bonkers.
You took him from me. I
Oh,
took
this is
nothing. He came to me willingly.
Yep.
You were never enough.
Yeah, it's from Flashpoint, right?
Yeah. Yeah, this one.
What?
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
That's
Yeah.
cool. I don't care what anybody says. Like, that was fucking cool. I
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
cool to see. I mean,
I like it. She puts the crown on. I was like, yes.
Right. There are certain applications where I do understand why people have a problem with AI, but stuff like this, I have no issues.
Yeah, I mean, like the effects they use on the water attacking her was badass.
Yeah,
like I
it's
was like, yeah, that's what I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's funny that we didn't really talk about it today, but the whole Zach interview that he did with the Happy Sad Confused, it was a good interview. Check it out. To me, nothing was really that groundbreaking, other than like some of the guys that he was thinking about casting instead of Jesse Eisenberg, which was what's his face, Kylo Ren, and he had another, or
my
Leonardo
God, he
DiCaprio.
was with DiCaprio. Okay, I can agree with
Yeah.
as far as being Lex. DiCaprio would have been a great Lex. I don't think that Adam Driver would have been
Adam
a good
Driver.
Lex.
Yeah.
Adam Driver did not do well in fucking Kylo Ren having a snot fest temper tantrum. I didn't like fucking Nicholas Holt having a snot nosed temper tantrum either. Like they need that having a temper tantrum doesn't show or doesn't demonstrate that you are a threat. It just shows that you're a bitch.
Yep. That you're a spoiled brat is what it shows.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to move on to our main topic. I know Matt had to step out for a minute. That's fine. We're going to go to our main topic, which is fixing the Flash. So we're going to talk about what we think, like where they went wrong and what we think they could have done to make things better for the Flash movie. I have a ton of ideas that in which they could have made this movie such a much better movie, such a badass movie. Instead,
well,
it's a movie
one of the
that
things that we have to do. One of
what?
the things we have to do is we're not going to bring in any of the elements that weren't as far as like having Thomas Wayne.
Oh no! And this one I'm bringing
We have
everything
to
in.
do-
No, I'm not doing
Right.
that. Star Wars was different because it was a trilogy and you had to use everything. This is just a movie.
Yes.
So for me, look, the whole storyline as it is, I didn't really like. I thought it was kind of stupid.
It was a bad story.
They took Flashpoint elements, but they used them in not the best ways. To me, if this movie was going to be successful and you wanted to start your new DC universe, may have been with Sasha Calle and Michael Keaton and all that, then to me, this should have just been a straight up Flashpoint movie where you had Thomas Wayne, where you had Henry Cavill's Superman, you had all those guys in it. And then at the end, when he comes out of it, and he sees Batman and it's Michael Keaton, that's where you start off. That's where you start up the next movie. If you're going to go with Hamada's DCEU, which was made to be a jumping off point for Hamada's new DCEU. But to me, this should have been a straight Flashpoint movie. There's not much I could say about this current storyline that could have saved it because it was such a wreck and such a mess. And the Sasha Calle shit, I was not a fan of. The Keaton stuff, yeah, that was cool to see him. Wasn't really a fan of it. It didn't make much sense. It just seemed kind of random that he was the Batman in this universe, even though he wasn't the same Keaton Batman from like Batman Returns and Batman 89. He was just a different version of Batman. I didn't quite understand that. It had a lot of good ideas, but the execution was just such a mess. Before we get into my take on it, Ryan, it sounds like you have a pretty structured take. Let's go ahead and hear what your take was.
Sure. So, taking the elements from the movie and not incorporating, Jeffrey Dean Morgan or any kind of, anything like that, just basically trying to fix the movie that is given to me, which happens to have Michael Keaton in it and Sasha Calle and Ezra Miller's The Flash. Number one, I would have cast Grant Gustin to be the other Flash. Just have them both in there. No need to have two separate. There's no reason for a doppelganger or anything like that. It just didn't make any sense. Either
I didn't get that.
Or bring in, Reverse Flash as your villain.
Yes.
Because that would have been the villain for the film. I would not have made Ezra Miller the villain of his own Flash movie because it didn't work anyway. It didn't make any sense and it was stupid. I would have changed, since we're already fucking up the whole universe. I would have already made Michael Keaton Thomas Wayne if I had to use Michael Keaton. I wouldn't have used him as Bruce Wayne. He was fine as Bruce Wayne in the movie, but I would have said, hey, you know what? Let's bring back Michael Keaton, but let's do something a little bit different. Let's have the guns. Let's make him, this sort of Flashpoint, character. And I would have done things a little bit differently. If I had to use Supergirl versus Superman, I didn't think Sasha Calle was the greatest Supergirl. Her being there made little to no sense.
Yeah.
The only thing that I did like was that you had Feora and Zod.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Movie. I thought that was really cool because they are very good villains. But I would have definitely had Reverse Flash, just sort of like he's the one that set it up. Now he's not controlling Zod or anything like that, and they're not working together. But I just would have said, hey, you know what? I set this up because I wanted to screw up your life. And if I can't screw up your life here, I'm going to go back in time. At the end of the movie, I'm going to go back in time and I'm going to murder your mother. And so, and that's kind of how I would have left it. And then I would have said, okay, well, now Ezra is going to try to change the timeline. He's going to zip off and he'll change the timeline into whatever the new DCU is going to be.
Yeah.
And that's how I would have left that off. But yeah,
would you have had Keaton in the movie?
If I could avoid it, I didn't mind him being there. It didn't make any sense, but I actually did I like seeing him back in the suit and all that, but I didn't like him. I did, like you said, it didn't make any sense that this is an alternate universe where he's Batman, because he's 20 years or 10 years, and he's 20 years older than Ben Affleck's Batman. And so,
dude, he should have gotten the Batman Beyond suit. Forget the normal Keaton suit. It should have been a more advanced suit if we're going to bring
it. It should have been something else,
or like the Kingdom Come suit, where he has robotics attached, where he's
like something for an old man.
Some other version of him. He didn't have to be Thomas, but just some other version of this Batman. Or it could have turned out to be that maybe he was Owlman in this universe. Who knows? He just kind of masqueraded. I don't know. That probably not. He wouldn't play his brother. But I wouldn't have done this whole stupid thing at the beginning where they had this crisis in the beginning where you have Batman and Wonder Woman and Flash.
It was unnecessary.
Babies from being hurt by microwaves,
the baby
and knives,
scene,
and that was so stupid.
And you called it months, if not years, before the scene came out. The movie came out. Ryan called that scene. You're gonna have babies going, "Akahoo," and you did.
Yeah. And slow motion, and it's supposed to be funny. And the only people it's funny for are the people that either don't like kids, want to do harm to babies, have that sick personality, like James Gunn, and people alike, just like fucking Muschietti. Muschietti fucking signed off on that.
You can't put babies in a microwave. You can't.
You can't and say that's a joke or say that's funny. That's stupid. It just shows you what kind of mentality that those type of Hollywood people have. And so I don't agree with it. I think it's very, very sophomoric and just downright stupid. So, but I wouldn't have had that sort of scene. I just wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have made his helmet look like a fucking egg.
Yeah, that was dumb.
That was bad. His whole suit looked ridiculous. I don't know, man. There's so much that you can change about the Flash, and I know that it changed hands a lot of times. It had many different writers come in. Even Ezra came in with another guy. I forget the guy's name, but came in with a comic book writer, and they tooled a little bit with the Flash script, and it still couldn't get greenlit. I was like, man, at that point in time, bro, don't even try it. Don't do a Flashpoint movie as your first Flash movie on the big screen. That's number one. But yeah, I mean, I definitely would have, dude, you had this Flash movie when we said this a long time ago when we did the Flash review, it focused too much on Batman and Superman versus the Flash. Did we see Jay Garrick? Did we see John Wesley Shipp? Did we see any other version of the Flash? Did we see anything else that concerned or contained the Flash? There was no Weather Wizard. There was no, there was, no Top. There was no other, characters from that universe. It was only Superman and Batman characters and Ezra Miller. And I was like, that's so narrow-minded. That's so minuscule. And it just shows that even these people that are writing these scripts, they have no idea what they have. They have lore for days. Matthew, what do you think?
Flashpoint's got to be earned. You can't just start right away on Flashpoint, but they were just trying to reset the universe because it was.
But that's what I'm saying. If it's going to be a reset movie anyway, they might as well give you a Flashpoint where everything's so fucked up that you're like,
yeah.
They come out of it in the new DC universe. You're like, okay, that makes sense. I like his moves.
He comics.
It's very eye-catching.
But yeah, no, I mean, if we were going to stick with what we got and not completely rewrite it, I would have definitely gotten rid of Sasha Calle, brought back Henry Cavill, but they couldn't do that because they're getting rid of Cavill. They didn't want to give people hope. And then I would have made Michael Keaton Batman Beyond if we were really going to bring back Keaton for whatever reason. I mean, honestly, I would have stuck, I wish we would have gotten the original Flashpoint movie with, what's his face? What's his name? Jeffrey Dean Morgan?
Yeah.
As Flashpoint Batman. That would have been badass, dude.
I mean, even if instead of
God.
Keaton, you had Jeffrey Dean Morgan, I would do that. Or
dude,
even,
yeah.
let's say you don't want to go that far, I would have preferred a grizzled, fucked up Affleck Bruce Wayne Batman in place of Keaton. Trying to, fighting the war in this world. And I would have totally have had Wonder Woman and Aquaman having a war, regardless if it's a Flashpoint movie or not. I would have had that aspect in the movie, and that would have been like the big event that's happening in the background is the war between Atlantis and Themyscira. Because to me, that tied in all your characters. So now you have you have Batman, you have Superman, you have the Flash, you have Wonder Woman, you have Aquaman, and if anything, I think it could have been cool if Sasha Calle's Supergirl existed in that world as Supergirl, and he goes, well, wait, where's Superman? They're like, what are you talking about? And then they find Superman in that military installation where he's all skinny and all that, and she never found him because she thought that he was already dead, and they had him like contained in like this lead-lined cell, so she never even knew he was there.
Yeah.
And so then when they wake up Superman, I mean, I would love to have Cavill, but if it wasn't Cavill, you could have casted somebody else because it's going to be a skinny version of him anyway. He's never really going to become the big bulking Superman.
Sure.
And so then that's where I would have changed this story, is that I would have had Supergirl be Supergirl of this world. You don't need to go into her background. You don't need to go into her origin story. She just exists as Supergirl in this world, but Superman never existed. And because he never existed and Supergirl thought that he was already dead, Supergirl, assumes the role of Superman and does whatever she can to try and help out. But she's not as refined as him because she didn't grow up with Martha Kent and Pa Kent. So she's a little more cutthroat. So she's a little more rebellious, you could say.
And
she's not as refined.
To repopulate the planet.
And Matt had to step out to do daddy duty, so now it's down to just me and Ryan. But I would have had her out there, and that's another reason for the short hair. She just would have been a little more rebellious in terms of her the way she carries herself, because she didn't have an upbringing that teach her right from wrong, to teach her the right morals, and so I would have made the movie centered around, okay, there's a Batman, and they're trying to find Superman. And then he uncovers the fact that Superman wasn't dead, and that the military did recover a craft, back when on this year, on this day. And so that's when they go looking for him, and they find Superman all skinny and frail in that room.
Yeah.
And that's what I would have had. And then at the end, obviously, look, you're going to have Wonder Woman and Aquaman have their battle. Aquaman's dead. Superman, saves them a little bit, then he flies away. Unfortunately, you couldn't have Cyborg because of the whole Ray Fisher thing. I think having him in the movie would have been a lot better because you could have had that Cyborg aspect to this Flashpoint storyline. But those are some things that I would change. And now, when it comes to Batman, to me, if you're going to do a Flashpoint-esque story, I think you can still roll with Keaton, just that, like, in this world, that's Batman. And he's just trying to get through, he's trying to fight through this war that's happening, or fight through this world that's happening around him. But it happens to be Keaton. And then at the end of the movie, when he comes out and Bruce Wayne steps out of that limo, it's Michael Keaton. And he's like, what the fuck? And that's where it ends. Yeah. If you were going to go with the Hamada, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If you're not, then, when James Gunn took over, you could have still kept this movie. And at the end, the final scene is him putting a suit on. And what's her face? His girlfriend, West. Iris West, him putting a suit on and her being like, what are you doing? Like, I have to fix this. Like, but you don't know what could come out of this. Are you sure? Like, anything's better than this. And then he sets off. And then the next time you see the DC, it would be James Gunn's DCU. Everything would be, unfortunately. Because that's why you see Momoa as Lobo. You see, some of the characters you saw in the previous world, but they're in different characters,
I think
or the same characters.
Completely horribly.
Horribly.
I think him and Ezra coming out of a bar and he falling in the water was stupid. I thought that was very poorly constructed and set up. There was no payoff. It wasn't funny. It was, it didn't make any sense to me. It was like, this is dumb, dude. This is really dumb.
It was dumb. It was dumb. And it was useless. It was like, oh,
It set
that's supposed to be
nothing
funny?
up. It didn't even set up fucking Aquaman 2, which
Well,
came
he
out
didn't want to
after.
set anything up. He didn't want to set up anything because he wanted this to fall flat on its face, just like Aquaman in that scene. He wanted it to fall flat on his face and say, yeah, nobody cares. We don't care. We're just trying to get this shit out. That's it. And look, at this point, Gunn couldn't have changed all that much about the movie because it was already shot and had been changed 500,000 times. So for him, he was just trying to get through these.
I think one change he did make, I want to give
was the tooth.
No. Was the tooth was stupid.
That was dumb.
But George Clooney instead of
He did. He did the George Clooney.
Yeah.
I would have just kept it as whoever. It could have been Clooney. It could have been Keaton. And then I would have shot one more scene, and just said he's got to say a new Flashpoint. You know what I mean? And then that's where my universe is going to take off.
That's why I think that, like, for James Gunn to kind of tote around that he's this creative beast or whatever, you come out here and you mismanage as soon as you get the reins. You mismanage the Flash movie at the end to just sort of like be jokey joke and then not really kind of set up your own future, kind of set up your own universe, and then you start cherry picking what you like from it and what you don't.
Yeah.
It could, everybody's always, upset because they're always like, oh, we're going to confuse the audience. We're going to confuse the audience. Bro, that is the most confusing you could ever confuse the audience, is to just cherry pick and no one understand what you're doing.
Yeah. No one understands what's going on. Nobody knows what's going on.
No one still knows what's going on. That's a problem. That's a problem if you still have fans that are just like, bro, outside, because like we said, Man of Tomorrow was never on the slate. You've got Supergirl coming out, but then after that, who knows? Because nothing else is in production. Only Man of Tomorrow and Supergirl are in production. Nothing else is in production for us. So who knows what's going to get? And he said, and what was so funny about James Gunn, which you can always tell he's full of shit, is that he's like, yeah, you know what? We're not going to go into production until we have a fire script. And number one, you saw Superman 2025. That was not a fire script. According to who was that a fire script?
I don't think it was a fire script
at all. And then number two, you have Man of Tomorrow. Like, wait, where the fuck did that come from? And how was that getting a fire script versus all the other properties that you'd already stated that you're going to go into production for? How in the world did you find somebody to create a fire script, which probably not going to be very good? But again, it's gonna be the same thing, dude. They talk out of both sides of their mouth, and everybody just fucking eats it up like it's fucking candy.
It's fucking terrible, is what it is. I just, he keeps saying all this shit, but at the end of the day, none of it ever works out.
Yeah,
and everything keeps changing, and it's kind of like, well, wait, what was your fucking plan to begin with?
Right.
Oh, I get it. You didn't have a plan. You had an outline for what you wanted to do. But so far, none of that has really come to fruition other than Superman and Supergirl. And then you're like, oh, Man of Tomorrow and Lanterns. Well, what about Paradise Lost? I don't know. I haven't thought about that yet. Because here's the fact is that he wants to have his hands in everything. And so if he can't be a part of it and he can't, control it, it's not going to happen. I mean, look, this should have been, let me see if I can pull this up. This should have been the movie right here.
Oh, sure. For sure.
This should have been it right here. And unfortunately, yes, Cyborg wouldn't have been played by Ray Fisher. They should have just recasted him. I don't know what they were just too afraid to touch that character. He should have been in it.
Same thing like fucking Black Panther.
Exactly.
Like, no, he's a black character. And we cannot recast him. Let's just let's change him out for, I don't know, Snowman.
And then the Batman, you could have had him look just like this Batman, but have it be Michael Keaton and just say he's Batman, or you just have Batman with a darker look. You don't have to make him Thomas Wayne, even though I like the Thomas Wayne story, but you don't have to make him Thomas Wayne. You can just make him Bruce Wayne's Batman, but he's played by Michael Keaton.
Universe, yeah.
I mean, you can trust what I'm saying. This is the #1 podcast in Northern California region, courtesy of Samba, Samba TV. The one that we should have gotten, the one that would have made the difference, would have been this one. Would you have Affleck's Batman? You have Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Thomas Wayne. You have Reverse Flash. Reverse Flash should have been the villain in this movie. Sure. And here's the thing too, is that all the time and money they spent in creating his duplicate, That could have went to so many other things. They spent so much time and money on that, having him be a duplicate of himself when it was completely unnecessary.
The fucking Speed Force, like, what is like a kaleidoscope? You know, where it's like, you know, it's like an animation. You know, where it's like, you know, he was in this sort of
the chronospheres.
The chronospheres.
That was
but
horrible.
They were like animations, right? That's how animations are. You know, you just sort of set them around and then they animate as you go or whatever. And they had Cavill in that, but it looked ridiculous. And I mean, that was just a dumbass idea. And then at the end of the fucking day, you have Christopher Reeve. You have
Chrono Bowl. That's what it's called. The Chrono Bowls. Sounds like is it a game?
Chrono Balls. But you have, you know, all these Superman and Batman characters. I think you even had Adam West. But you have all these Superman and Batman characters, and one Flash character they showed off, and it wasn't even John Wesley Shipp, Grant Gustin, anybody who's ever been the Flash in their life. It was some editor that pretended to be Jay Garrick.
Garrick.
Garrick. Yeah. And it was like, where's the connection to that? What is that? I was like, bro, this is just beyond retarded.
It was dumb, and we saw it opening night in IMAX.
Well, we did because we didn't go because we did because we were in the same city. We did because we made an event.
It was a meetup, event, but still,
it had nothing to do with just us wanting to really see this film.
I mean, there were some aspects of the finished product that I did like. You know, I don't know, like when he did his running and he looked stupid because he had no powers. I thought that was funny. The
museum was funny, yeah.
It was funny, but at the same time, they're shitting on what he did in the previous movie. But whatever. That was funny. But when you go back to the Flashpoint comic or even the animated movie, when he goes into that new timeline, there isn't a duplicate of himself. He is that version of the Flash or of Barry Allen. There isn't like a duplicate Barry Allen running around. Remember? Because what he did was he changed timelines. Like he changed the timeline. He didn't just in this one. It's almost like he entered an alternate reality of Earth. And to me, it was kind of like, well, wait, now you're kind of muddying things up because it should have just been a linear timeline where you're seeing. Because I guess the whole thing was that they wanted to show off all those Chrono Bowls. So they're like, well, how do we do that without demonstrating that there's a multiverse and that he went through the multiverse into a different dimension, into a different version of his own world. And I get that, but you still could have had those Chrono Bowls and not had the duplicate Barry Allen. Well, there's some funny parts between the two of them. Yeah, sure. But like for instance, right? Even when you go back to Justice League of all movies, right? The movie that they claim is true canon to the DCEU. What is Batman tells him just to save one person and then you'll figure it out, right? So what does he do during that tunnel battle is he grabs Silas Stone and then he moves him to a different location, remember?
Yeah.
And then he keeps grabbing people and saving them, right? When you watch the Flash movie, the duplicate Barry moves regular Barry like 15 feet. He's like, what did you do? I moved you, but just a few feet. Oh, you threw up, right? Funny scene, but it was like, well, wait a minute. They didn't throw up. They didn't get sick, and that's supposed to be the same continuity as this. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I was kind of like, well, that doesn't even make any sense.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to make sense because that movie doesn't exist if they're making this movie. And in the movie they made that we got, The Flash, it made sense in that movie, but nowhere else.
I mean, look, to be honest, like they didn't even need to do the Man of Steel callback with Zod and Feora and the Kryptonians. That should have just been Wonder Woman versus Aquaman, Themyscira versus Atlantis war. That's what that should have been instead of having Zod come back, which didn't.
I think the reason why they had him come back is because they needed another anchor because they didn't want to have Henry Cavill come back as Superman. Even for this, they were like, no, number one, since we're not having Henry, we've got to have Michael Shannon, the girl that played Feora, and then Sasha Calle.
But here's the thing.
The three equal the one.
I get that, right? But here's the thing is that there's also a alternate time. So they filmed three different endings, right? One of the endings they filmed was that after he's found not guilty and they're leaving the courtroom, they come across Henry Cavill, who's Clark Kent, and they run into Wonder Woman as well, who's dressed up as Diana. And then when what is it? And then when Batman gets out of the car, it's Michael Keaton, and he's like, "Wait, what?" I think. And then there was another one they filmed where he comes out with Iris West out of the courthouse, and he's like, "We did it! This is great!" Then all of a sudden he hears, "Great job, Barry!" He looks over, and Supergirl, Sasha Calle, is lowering down from the sky.
Yeah.
He's like, "What?" And he looks over, and then Bruce Wayne rolls up, and he gets out, and it's Michael Keaton. And he's like, "What the? You could have kept that ending if you wanted to, right?" I'm just saying, like, if James Gunn never took over, that's probably the ending they would have kept. But to me, it's like, look, you filmed all these endings, right? Like, you could have done something to rectify the end of this movie so that it made more sense to James Gunn's DCU. But at the end of the day, truly, they did not give a shit. They didn't care.
True.
They
Right.
did not care.
They were like,
you would
let's
think they
just-
would try
let's
and
just put it
retcon.
out there,
Just put it out
make
there.
as much money as we can, and that's it. Some people are gonna see it, some people won't see it, and unfortunately, that's kind of what you're gonna get with the Mandalorian. Is some people are gonna go see it, some people are not gonna go see it. You know, same thing with this Supergirl coming out. You know, they're hoping that this raunchy, I guess, sort of college party girl, badass, fierce
Rebel.
girl is going to bring in people and say, oh, this is exactly the Supergirl we need. Oh, she's so different from any other Supergirl, blah blah blah, whatever. And I don't think it's going to resonate. Plus, having girls, daughters that I raise, I wouldn't want them to say, hey, you know what? Supergirl, yeah, that's somebody that I think you should look up to. Yeah, no, she's a drunk. She's probably a hoe, whatever. I mean, I'm
Party girl.
Whatever. And it's like, yeah, that's upstanding. Let's go. Yeah, let's do that one.
So when we go back to the Flash, like the beginning scene, right, where he's trying to get his fucking sandwich, stupid. I don't like that scene. I don't like
it.
it.
Dumb as the Harley Quinn getting her or dropping her sandwich.
Yeah, it was like, we've already done the sandwich thing. Let's not do that again. And then you're telling me that whole action sequence took place before that guy was done making a sandwich? Because he gets back there in time where he goes, okay, here's your sandwich. It's like, oh, come on, dude. Come on. That conversation he had with Wonder Woman Batman was long enough. So the beginning of the movie, terrible. The whole sandwich scene should have been cut. It should have just went from him going right into action. Maybe have a little intro with him, but no sandwich scene. That's stupid.
Yeah.
And then like they introduce characters that you see later on, but that don't really have any significance to the story. So it was kind of like, I don't know why you introduced them for.
Yeah.
I know they're Flash characters, but at the end of the day, it's like the main villain should have been Reverse Flash. And when he's doing the whole Chrono Bowl thing, there should have been multiple Flash universes that he was seeing. I don't give a fuck about Nicolas Cage. I didn't need to see Chris Reeves Superman. That was unnecessary. It didn't lend anything to the story of the Flash. It became just a DC movie. Like, oh look at DC. Look at all we have to offer. It's no, I don't care. The old Superman. Like, this is not a Superman movie. This is a Flash movie. You should have seen Grant Gustin. My God, how you didn't have Grant Gustin is beyond me. But he should have been in one of those Chrono Bowls, if you want to do it that way. You should have seen Grant Gustin. You should have seen John Wesley Shipp. Yep. You should have seen, obviously, himself, because he's there. You could have seen the Jay Garrick. You could have even seen a Wally West.
Well, even with Michael Keaton in his universe, John Wesley Shipp is the Flash of that universe, right? Even though he had a TV show, but it was still based off of the Tim Burton Batman universe when they did the television series. So it could have been that, like, Michael Keaton, when he kind of met Ezra, he was like, you're not Barry Allen. I know Barry Allen. Barry Allen is John Wesley Shipp. And he goes, oh, okay, well, you know what? Shit, I'm in the wrong timeline. Or he'll even have, I don't know, man. There's so many possibilities.
Oh,
and they had
think
so
about
many
that.
scripts.
What you just said. If he's like, you're not the Flash. Like, no, I am the Flash. No, he takes him over. Like, that is the Flash, and so is John Wesley Shipp. He's bigger and taller and
he looks like
everything.
the Flash.
Yeah. And then you could have found out that that Flash is retired or that Flash died or who knows, right? It doesn't really fucking matter. But they should have made reference to that. Mm-hmm. And he could even had a cameo for all I care. But like,
I would have loved that.
it needed to be constructed much better, but you can tell that there's so much fuckery going around with that movie that like I don't really blame Andy Muschietti on how it turned out. I think he did the best he could with what he had and what he had to do. The movie could have been a lot worse, I'll tell you that. The movie itself isn't terrible. There's parts that I'd like, but at the end of the day, it's like, man, that could have been so much better. It's just really bad what they did to it. It's really bad. Like I said, for me, if I were to change anything, using the same nuts and bolts and ingredients of this movie, I would have had. I probably would. I mean, if you had to keep him, I would have kept Michael Keaton, obviously, because he's really the Batman in this movie. But I would have made him look a little more robust, a little more like the world's in a shittier place than it was, when you last saw it. And so his suit looks more like the Flashpoint Thomas Wayne suit, where he has to be a little darker, a little more evil because the world he lives in is that much worse. I would have had Supergirl just being Supergirl in the world. All she knows is that she was supposed to take care of her brother. Her brother died. Cousin. I'm sorry. Her cousin died.
Yeah.
And for all she knows, it's by the hands of the military, which makes her not want to trust the military whatsoever. So she's kind of like, she's Supergirl, but she's also doesn't like the military.
She's here to set up a harem.
Something. Yeah. Take many husbands. So she would have been existing in the world as the Superman that isn't exactly like, Superman, but is this world's version of Superman.
Right.
I would have recasted Cyborg, and I would have had Cyborg in the movie because, again, you're in an alternate timeline. It doesn't have to look like Ray
It could
Fisher.
be somebody else that you thought would have been like a really good, candidate for Cyborg. Like, oh yeah, hey, we got fucking what's that dude from that played Finn?
John Boyega.
John Boyega.
Yeah, I mean, and you're in an alternate timeline, so like I said, it doesn't have to be
or
Ray
have
Fisher.
the fucking kid from the damn stupid Teen Titans show.
Yeah,
that played Cyborg. Just bring him in. Who gives a shit?
So Cyborg would have been in it in the same capacity as he is in like the Flashpoint movie, where he's kind of, he's like their insider, the guy they can talk to. Batman's able to get a hold of him, and they have their conversations. I also would have had Wonder Woman and Aquaman having the Themyscira Atlantis war happening on Earth. To me, that would have been like the ticking time bomb, not Zod, not Feora, not the Kryptonians, because to me that turned into a big mess. And then you had the looping timeline where I'm trying to save everybody. It just didn't work. I get where they were coming from. I see what they were trying to do, but to me it didn't work. I would have just had the war happening in front of them. Like in Flashpoint, I loved that Lois Lane was just a reporter, and she was like, she was undercover and all that, and she gets killed along with Lex. Maybe not have all that, because at this point, if you have Lois Lane, does it have to be Amy Adams? I don't know. Superman would have been Kal-El, but he just would have been a skinnier version of hopefully Henry Cavill. And if it wasn't Cavill, it'd just be another guy playing Superman, because he looks skinny anyway. He didn't have to be Henry Cavill.
Yeah, they could have cast like David Cornsweet.
There you go. But you see what I'm getting at, though, right?
Him up. Yeah.
But if they would have had Cavill come back just to do that, that would have been cool. Even if you said, I don't want to be skinny, I'd be like, look, we'll just leave you the way you are. Don't work out. You'll just be at this size, Well,
I mean, they could have done that, or they could have also just done what they did with Chris Evans and just superimposed his face onto another person.
And that would have been cool.
Because he wouldn't have been needed or for that many scenes.
Yeah. And then, you would have had you actually would have had a scene where Supergirl sees Superman.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my God, you're alive. You know what I mean? Like, and you would have had that scene where they finally meet each other, and she realizes that, I don't have to be so hateful because you were never dead. I just couldn't find you.
Yeah.
And so you kind of have that little scene there, but then all the while, where you had that dark Flash keep popping up in the movie, that should have been Reverse Flash. And at the end, there should have been a dialogue between the two of them where he talks about how he set all of this up. He saw what he did in his world, and he wanted to ruin it,
I think that, they should have. It should have clearly been focused on Reverse Flash, because that's the reason. There's sort of a symbiotic kind of energy in that, it's sort of the like, I created you, you created me, sort of. Without you, there's no me, and so you have to have that. And because they didn't have that, and they used Dark Flash or whatever the hell they ended up calling him, I can't remember, but
Dark Flash.
Dark Flash.
Who isn't even really Dark Flash?
It's the same. No, it's the same shit that they did with this Superman 2025. Is
Yeah.
that they created a new
Ultraman.
character where there was no need for a fucking the Hammer of Baravia. The motherfucker
Ultraman.
Ultraman. He wasn't Ultraman because he wasn't a made man. He wasn't a crime lord.
Yeah, he wasn't from the crime syndicate.
Bizarro. So stupid.
Stupid.
But they created this new character that they didn't have to do. They did not have to create this new character in order for their movie to make sense. And that's what they did with the Dark Flash. They created a new character, and that shit still didn't make any sense.
I mean, look at Mortal Kombat, the movie. They created a new character. He was the worst character in the fucking movie. And again, was Dark Flash, aka Barry Allen, was he the worst character in the movie? I don't think he was the worst character, but at the end of the day, it seemed like, you know what? Like, once he became Dark Flash and was doing all that shit, I was just like, you know what? This character was not necessary. Yeah, it's like at the end, it's like, okay, obviously he's gonna die, and this Flash is gonna win. I get it. It's like, regardless if you're Hamada or regardless if you're James Gunn, remember these guys? Regardless of who you are, you were gonna use this movie to jumpstart your DC universe. And so, to me, it should have ended similar to like with the Flash, where Flashpoint, where Reverse Flash shows himself, reveals like what his plan was the whole time, and then they get into a battle, and then the Flash, instead of going back to his world where he sees an alternate, Bruce Wayne, all that stuff, he just should have fucking said, I gotta fix things, and then he goes and starts a new timeline, and that ends up becoming whatever DC turns into.
Sure.
Outside
it
of
would
that,
have made more sense if they had done that. It definitely would have made sense if they just. But what they fail to realize is that what they believe is that if they put out this like subpar movie, that the confidence, they don't understand the confidence in the viewer is going to go down.
Yeah.
The confidence in the property is also going to go down. So that
Absolutely.
subsequently makes everything that you're going to release after that not make as much money, not be as popular. You're not going to get you're not going to get the trust of the would-be fans that would go see your properties, your things. So when you're putting out Superman, when you're putting you've still got people are still sort of on the fence, like, what is this? Even though they've seen Creature Commandos, which it's not overwhelmingly, nobody liked it.
The general audience the vast majority of them did not even see it.
And you've got Superman, where they keep trying to push the narrative that it was this banger, and it wasn't. And the funny thing is that like it is not definitively like there's no question about it that this thing like made Aquaman money or made the first Joker money. It didn't. It made some money because it's Superman only. And they made a little bit more, worldwide because, people know who Superman is. But the thing is that it just didn't resonate with a lot of people. So, again, people are still on the fence because you released The Flash, which wasn't good. You released Aquaman 2, which wasn't good. You released Blue Beetle, which is very forgettable, but it was fun to watch. But it went nowhere and nothing has happened since. And then you release Superman, which is very forgettable. And there's just nothing to hold on to. Everything that James Gunn has done, from The Suicide Squad to the only thing he's done that people actually like, which you yourself like, is the Peacemaker show. Other than that, he hasn't really done anything that anybody
Season
likes.
2, I thought was not that great at all. Season 1, I actually enjoyed it more than I thought I would, but season 2 was just sort of like, okay, it's still one of those things where it's like, I don't know where you're going with this DC universe. I don't know what the theme is. I don't know what the continuity is. I don't know. Everything looks different in terms of how it's filmed. Everything has different types of dialogue. Everything. There's no continuity between all these projects. And look, I get it. That's hard to do.
I don't know. I mean, Marvel
all
did
these
it
movies are
for a
leading to
while.
nothing. They're leading to nothing.
Right. Exactly.
And so at least the Flash, you could have made that to where it says goodbye to the original DCEU and hello to whatever DC was going to be at the end. And I think that they were so hell-bent on having the new Batman, the new Supergirl, the new everything show up at the end to let fans know this is the world he's in now. This is the world. But even at the end of that world, or at the end of that scene, the Flash isn't like, I'm so happy to be here. No, his reaction is, oh shit. Like,
what the hell?
Yeah, like I'm not in the right world. So then it's kind of like, well, wouldn't he just take off again and try and find the right world? Wouldn't he try to fix his mistakes one more time? But no, you're telling me that the world that you just saw, that was, if you're Hamada, that was the world you were going to stay in. So that didn't make any sense either. Yeah. So that's why it's like leaving it ambiguous where he goes and really when he takes off and he's trying to run and he's hurt and then eventually he gains enough speed and he's going like a Flashpoint. There should have been a monologue scene, sort of like what he did in Zack Snyder's Justice League. When he says, Dad, I was the best of the best. He should have had a dialogue scene like that where he's saying, like, I don't care what comes out of this. Anything is better than what we have here. I have to try and fix something. I have to try and fix the world. And then enough of the dialogue where that what he's doing is that he's setting a new flashpoint. And he's going to a new world, and then, and that's when the credits kick in.
Well, even his mother didn't really resonate. It wasn't that big of a deal. Like there was not a whole lot of weight, even though she.
I don't get the casting. She's like, "Hello, Betty." Had the weird accent. I was what the fuck? Like I don't think it's accents, but I'm just saying it was kind of like that's not his mom from the comics and from everything, like what's going on? Like what? It's almost like Andy Muschietti was like, I want to get somebody who has an accent kind of like me. It was just weird. It was like
I want to get someone who can understand direction.
It was just weird. Was it weird for you? It was weird for me.
The whole movie was weird for me.
No, but I'm saying his mother.
Her casting, yes. I mean, she did look like him. I get it, and in a way that
I think the X-Men has better continuity, and that's all screwed up too.
Yeah, that is true. But I think her casting was this. I don't want to say DEI, but this sort of let's
check
make
mark.
This
it was a check mark.
Let's make this as culturally diverse as we possibly can.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's what they're trying to do. But I didn't get I didn't understand the casting. And I think that, like I said before, having the duplicate Barry was a waste of time and money. Was it a cool idea? Yeah, it was cool, but it was unnecessary, and it didn't need to be in the movie. It could have focused solely on Ezra Miller's Flash and not on two of him. Not two of them.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It should have just focused on his Flash and him in that timeline, and he is the Barry Allen of that timeline. And they're like, hey, Barry. And he's like, hey, what's going on? Like, Barry, why are you acting all weird? Just like in Back to the Future. When he went back in time, he was Marty. It wasn't I'm sorry, when he came back to it was actually an alternate future because now they're all successful. There wasn't another Marty McFly fucking running around the planet.
The world changed around him.
Exactly, right? And that's what should have happened to Barry Allen when he goes back and he saves his mom. Instead, what happens? He goes back in time, saves her, and then he gets pushed out by Reverse Flash, and he ends up in that other universe that I guess. I'm sorry, Dark Flash, where Dark Flash came from. It was just really weird. It was just kind of like, hold on, what's going on here? So that's what I would have changed. I would have got rid of the double Barrys.
Sure.
You didn't need that.
You didn't need that.
Barry should have shown up.
And what's funny, like you just mentioned, is you had the Dark Flash like push him out, but the outcome was still the same, right? So maybe the Dark Flash shouldn't have pushed him out. Should have been okay.
Go back to your timeline. Go away.
Yeah, no movies.
It's he should have just popped out back in what he thought was his timeline, and then he goes home because he wants to see if he made a difference, and then that's when he meets his mom, meets his dad again, and realizes, oh my god, I've changed everything. But then, and he's spending some time with them, and he's thinking, oh my god, I fixed everything. Yeah, and then he either reads the paper or sees the news, and you see the war between Atlantis and Themyscira, and you realize, oh my god, what have I done? And then that's when he's like, I gotta find Batman. And then that's when he goes to Wayne Manor, and then he meets Batman, who's at this point played by Michael Keaton because we're using the same ingredients, just changing the story a bit. He meets Batman, and the whole way he met him, fine, leave it that way, whatever you want to do. But then you find out that Keaton is Batman, and he has more he has a bigger suit that's slightly more robotic, kind of like an exosuit, because he's a frail old man. He's got to be able to protect himself.
Not according to the Flash movie. He's able to flip on shit, do all kinds of acrobatic shit.
Oh, wasn't that crazy? At age 70.
Age 70, yeah.
So that's what I would have done to try and save this movie. I think that would have helped out. It would have just given it a better story. There was just so much going on in the real one that I think it lost a lot of viewers right away. I know when we saw it, you can immediately see where the story started to go fucking sideways. And it's too bad. And also the Batfleck Wonder Woman scene, would you have kept that scene?
With
in the beginning.
At the beginning, man. Well, number one, I would not have given him like a honeycomb outfit. I did like his motorcycle. I thought that shit was
cool. That was cool.
I did like.
But we saw the motorcycle, I think, didn't we? No, we didn't. That was the first time.
That was specifically for the Flash movie because they were not going to use the Batmobile. But I did like that. I didn't like how he was just riding on the freeway, with the guys driving the truck. I thought they tried to make that portion a little bit too Super Friends. Then just kind of like, oh hey, we're the Justice League, and that was the fucking Justice Gang right there. Because I just don't think that they all would have shown up for whatever was going on in Central City. Was it Central City? Were they even in Central?
Yeah, he was in Central City.
But yeah, I mean, fucking, how the hell did Batman get there with a damn motorcycle in time? Because it's supposed to be on the opposite.
Oh, I'm sorry. That took place in Gotham City. Remember, he ran to Gotham City. Like,
he did. That's true.
With that Motorhead song.
It's so long since I've seen the film.
I was kind of like, oh my god, what are we doing here? It's like when he ran, instead of playing like rock music, instead of having that sound,
it should have been punk rock.
Oh god, no! But instead of that song, for me at least, and instead of having the weird sound of like a gun cocking, like. Like it was kind of like what? Yeah. It should have just been like, and it should have been his music, like whatever applied to the Flash. That should have been his music right there playing, not. It was just kind of like, oh, now we're supposed to be rocking out now, like
Can't wait to get back on that road again.
Yeah, it's just kind of it was unnecessary. It's like, come on, you guys, stop being stupid. Yeah, eastbound and down. It's just dumb. It's dumb. Yeah. I had a picture where somebody changed Batman from the Flash. I don't know where it went.
Oh.
But those guys.
Yeah, no. I think it's fine that Batman was there. I didn't mind the whole blue gray outfit. I did mind the honeycomb on it. I didn't like his cowl. I thought that was stupid. But like, I was curious, is like, how's Wonder Woman here? And what is actually going on? It wasn't really the opening sequence should have been more well defined, and it should have just stuck to Batman and the Flash. Like Batman came and helped the Flash out because he's I guess gonna take. Man, this whole movie's just FUBAR, dude. It is.
And then there was the end credit scene they filmed where what's his face was like, "You gotta find us, Barry. You have to find us." Bruce Wayne. This scene. Yeah. And it's kind of like, what was that? What was that going to be? And he agreed to it too. He was like, "All right, I'll do it."
Look at his suit though.
It's still the same suit. It's just not blue.
It's not blue.
He looks like if you give him a mask, he could be Dr. Doom. Why is he still wearing the motorcycle suit? Is he still riding that bike in the future or wherever he's at?
They couldn't afford to make another suit for him.
It's so bad. It's so bad, dude.
Yeah, no, it was dumb.
It's dumb.
It's so bad, dude. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about the Flash movie, dude. There's not much more we can do to fix it.
What about this one? This is the concept art of the suit. It looks better when you draw it, but in 3D, not so much.
No, I think that it does look good. It does look good there, but it also depends on who you have that is actually going to make that a reality.
Mm-hmm.
How
And
it's
he's
going to
wearing the
lay-
same suit from Justice League underneath all this. See, you see the cushions on the abs, but still, and it's blue. Why'd they have to go blue?
because they wanted to be different. They wanted to show that it's different. I don't mind blue and gray, and I think that's fine. I like the black and gray. I don't mind the blue and gray. Especially for like I would say like his suit should look blue during the day and look black at night. Just like, okay, cool. That's
That'd be
good enough
kind of
for me.
cool. What'd you think of this right here? Let me bring this up. Of his suit, I hated it.
I didn't hate it. I wish that the belt was yellow.
Yeah.
Still.
I agree.
I wish that they had. To be honest with you, I wish they just hadn't used the suit. They had other suits behind him that they were like, oh, this is his arsenal over the years. But I wish that they had given him a different suit. One tailored to him.
They
but
just
like,
tried
where
to
he could turn his head, and we
Mhm.
don't have to worry about all that shit. I thought they were going to make mention of that in the film, but they didn't. They just did the whole, turning of the body. They just did that. It's
They
like,
just
okay,
took.
whatever.
They just said, "Okay, let's take the suit that you had in '89, and we're gonna fucking modernize it and make it." And in turn, it didn't look very good. It's just a rehash. I'm like, come on, give him something different.
The same old thing. Yeah, give him something new, something different. Make him be able to turn his neck, and then they could have used one of those stupid James Gunn, like, look at this. I can turn my head.
Yeah.
Whatever. It could have been something as simple as that, but that would have been funny, and that would have been a callback for everybody who liked. the
Even if he
Batman
called his name
and
like,
Batman movies.
like Batman, he looks back. He's like, whoa. I don't know, something. It just, or if he looked back, in the ship, and he was just like, my old suit, I couldn't do that. I don't know. I don't even know, dude.
Yeah.
It's just, and then he's wearing that suit, the biker suit. Like he should have just wore the suit from Justice League. The armored suit that he wore at the end.
That all depends on if they still had the suit, if it was still usable, and if he was able to still wear it. Because people change, their body size changes from month to month, year to year, and that's why when they go back and they are allotted budget for production, because like if for BVS, he was really hitting the gym, he was getting bulked up. But in Justice League, and then also in the Flash, you can tell even from that picture that you showed, he thinned out because he doesn't like to work out. He had made mention that he was like, I hated the workout.
Yeah, I mean, who
hated getting
does?
big. So, well, I mean, Henry Cavill obviously does, and Arnold Schwarzenegger and other people that are just like, yeah, they love that
Arnold,
and even Dwayne Johnson and all that, dude. Some people do like working out, but not everybody. It's not for everybody. He didn't like it, and that's why he kept getting smaller and smaller, but unfortunately, in some of the reshoots for the Justice League, he was getting fatter and fatter. Because
he started drinking.
He started drinking, but because that's sort of how he, kind of coped with what was going on in his life. And that's another, like I said, that's another reason why they go back and they get refitted, and then they make new molds and they make new adjustments and things like that for the suit to accommodate their new physique.
It's funny. Everyone's like, whoa, with Paramount buying Warner Brothers, the Saudis might push for Zach to get his movies. The Saudis are worried about not getting bombed right now. I think making movies is the last thing on their mind right now. They're like, oh my God, our oil fields are getting destroyed. They're not like, we got to save the Snyderverse.
For days.
We got to save the Snyderverse, guys.
They don't care about the Snyderverse either. It doesn't matter. Those people, I'm sorry, but everyone is pretty much aged out. He should have had a more advanced suit.
He should have.
But I mean, everybody's pretty much aged out. For the people that were complaining about Michael Keaton coming back, you're gonna not complain about Ben Affleck coming back we're gonna have like a geriatric Justice League. It's just sorry. And then you've got Ezra Miller, who fucking disappeared off the face of the planet. So, and I don't know if anybody would want him to come back as the Flash. It just seemed like going through the Flash production, so many scandals and fiascos and issues and all that kind of shit. Nobody wants to go through all that. Ray Fisher, he did like another thing for I guess he was doing another film, and I haven't seen him since. So who knows if he would, want to do it or come back or whatever. I mean, hell, look at freaking Alfred. He's not getting any younger.
Jeffrey Irons.
He played
Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy Irons. How dare you?
How dare you?
He's not getting any younger. I mean, you've got so many people that they're just getting too old for this stuff, man. It's like what they should do is if Paramount comes in and says, you know what, this DC is not working out, they should just take a hiatus for about 5 years and say, and cancel the whole slate. Cancel the whole
I don't think
slate.
they're going to cancel anything. They're just going to push through. And
Well,
unless they bring...
they'll release what's in production, but don't put anything else into production. Just, vault it and then come back with an actual plan of action.
Yeah.
Not from a director. Don't get another fucking director to come in and say, I have a vision. Fuck your vision. They should actually have somebody like Kevin Feige, who's not a director, but who has a good mind and has a good way of world building. I'm sorry, but these guys just don't have it. They're just not doing a good job.
Okay, here's that that image I wanted to show you. Is this it right here? Yeah, this is it right here. Let me share this one, and then we'll wrap things up. Yeah. So this is the image. This is what we got in the movie, right?
Yes.
Which looks terrible when he's not on a bike. It just looks awkward and bulky, and the cowl doesn't look very good.
Well, I mean, even the Flash's outfit. I mean, it looks okay.
None of these suits look great in broad daylight, especially Batman. I mean, come on, he's not a broad daylight kind of guy. This is not Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, but crime doesn't sleep.
Oh my god! And then this guy made an edit to try and improve his suit. Let me know what you think. Here it is, right here. It's hard to make out.
I mean, he made the chest bigger.
He just made it a suit.
Oh, he just made it a suit.
Yeah,
looks a little better.
Looks a little better.
It looks a little better.
Yeah, I think I would have went with the
Get
suit
AI
look anyway.
to fucking make a better, rendition of that. I'll wait.
Yeah, exactly. Guys, that's going to do it for the show. That is our take on how we would fix Andy Muschietti's The Flash. And guys, if you like this video, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Nicotina Network or to Zever Comics, where they're both broadcasting this stream.
Yes.
If you want to support my channel, which is the Nicotina Network, hit the join button down below and become a member of the channel. Membership start as low as, I believe, $1.99 and $2.99. So definitely check that out. It's a great way to support the channel. You can also find me over on Patreon under Nicotina Network, and you can join over there. It's actually cheaper on Patreon. It's only $1.99 per tier. So definitely check that out. It's a great way to help support the channel. I'll have links down below for merchandise that I also get commission on, which you can buy. It'll be figures, t-shirts, all that stuff from your favorite DC characters. So definitely check that out. Go to Indiegogo.com and check out The Nephilim. That is Ryan's Kickstarter comic that he's the creator of. So definitely check that out. And then that way you can help support his endeavor in trying to make the Nephilim the next big comic book and comic character in the country.
That is correct. In the world.
But guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Nerd Up. We'll be back next week with a whole nother topic. I don't have next week's topic picked out already, unless you have one you want to tackle.
We covered something. We said something earlier in the stream where we were talking about fixing it. God, what was it? We'll discuss it.
What was it?
I can't remember. It was something else. It was another film that we kind of brought up, and I was like, oh yeah, we'll come back and fix that.
We'll think of it and we'll let you know.
Think of it, yeah.
All right, guys. Until next time, like I said, like, share, and subscribe. Become a member of the channel or join us over on Patreon under Nicotina Network, or just simply hit join or just simply hit subscribe. And that's the best way to support both of our channels is by subscribing. And like I said, you can become a member of my channel and support us that way as well. We'll see you guys next week. Until then, guys,